Hello. So welcome to another session of yoga with Kate. My brand is Wild Sacred Journey, that balance point of the human and the spiritual parts of our experience. So just a reminder before we get started, for anyone following along at home, that nothing I offer here is intended to replace medical advice or what even your own inner body's knowing. So just make sure that you're honoring that. I'm just here as a guide. And please practice safely and responsibly. And also that if you have been following my videos and receiving any benefit from them and you are in a position to be able to do so, donations and financial support is always welcome to help me be able to keep me and my business practicing and offering. So there's always links where you can donate in the description of each of those videos. So thank you very much. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll get started today in child's pose. So coming to your mat, knees together or nice and wide, letting your hips sink back, maybe arms can reach forward. If resting your forehead down on the floor is a little too much, you can always bring a block or a small pillow underneath your forehead, but you want to ground your forehead. And just start to connect with your breath. Just letting yourself maybe take a few deeper breaths. If you are still connected with any people, places, or things that are not right here and right now, just gently unplug from them. And just let yourself come into the four squares of your mat, the four corners of your mat, I should say. Feel where your forehead connects with whatever supports it, the ground or the pillow or the block. Let your face muscles start to soften. Check in with your jaw, your throat, your neck. If there's any tension there, just invite it to release. It may or may not. Notice where your shoulders are in relationship to your ears. Are they up close or are they sliding away, moving more towards your hips? If you can then send your awareness down your spine, noticing if it's difficult to breathe in and out through the back of your body. And if so, just inviting the connective tissue in and around your ribs, on your spine to soften as best it can. See if you can even feel your low back just microscopically expanding with each breath, or maybe it feels like a big movement. With each breath in, feel the back of your body opening. Each breath out, keep the space, just soften into it. Take another nice full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, rise up to your tabletop. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Starting to move the spine, cats and cows. Inhale to lift the tailbone and top of your head up. Exhale, press the ground away, round your spine, point tailbone and top of your head down. Keep that flow going. Inhaling to open and lift. Exhaling to press and round. Inhale. Exhale. And a few more. Especially if you find yourself sitting a lot more in your day to day, it's really important to move the spine. Maybe you start to take some side to side movements here, just letting your hips sink to one side, your ribs press to one side, coming back to center, and the other. Inhale to center, exhale to the first side again. Inhale to center, exhale, other side again. Inhale to come back to center. And we'll take a threaded needle. So on your next inhale, reach your right arm out to the side or even up. And as you exhale, glide it down and through, coming to rest your right ear down to block, pillow, or floor. Top arm can stay where it is, slide out overhead, or even reach around for a half bind. And then breathe here. Again, checking in with face, jaw, throat, neck, making sure shoulders are moving towards hips rather than ears, and really press through your feet so you're not tipping all your weight forward to your head. And breathe. Again, as best you can. Take one more nice full breath in. Exhale to bring your hand back to center. Inhale, unwind up or out to the side. Exhale, replace your right hand down to the mat. We'll switch sides. Inhale, left arm sweeps out to the side or even up. As you exhale, glide it down and through. Top arm can stay in close again, slide out overhead, or wrap around for that half bind. Anchor through your feet so the center of your body, your hips lifting up towards the ceiling, is still the balance point of weight between head and feet. And then breathe here. If at any point you find that you can't breathe deeply, even when you invite it to happen, back off of the shape a little bit until you can breathe deeply, and then just settle into the shape there at that point, deepening when your body is ready. One more breath in. Exhale to release any bind you might have, hand coming back towards your head. Inhale, unwind back up maybe, and then exhale. Left hand comes back to the mat. Take a nice full breath in, walk your hands a little bit further forward. As you exhale, find downward facing dog. So press through both hands. Imagine you were opening two jars away from each other with your hands to help wrap the bottom points of your shoulder blades slightly towards the front of your ribs. Shoulder blades that are still moving towards your hips rather than your ears. Imagine there was a balloon between your belly and your thighs. That balloon is what's floating your hips up and back. Take a nice full breath in. Full breath out, pedaling your feet if that feels good. Or taking any other movement. Even shrug your shoulders just a little bit here, but be really mindful. You don't want to make any big movements that could end up hurting you. Take one more nice full breath in. As you exhale, look forward. Start to glide your shoulders forward over your wrists. Use that movement and the scoop of your low belly to step your right foot forward, followed by the left. Taking multiple steps if you need to. Come to a forward fold, the top of your mat, feet about hip width or maybe even wider, maybe a nice deep bend to your knees. You can grab opposite elbows here, let your head hang. And again, if it feels good to take some small swaying movements, side to side, you can do that. You can shake and nod your head yes or no. Take one more nice full breath in. Exhale to release it out. And your right knee, plant your right fingertips on the floor, or you can bring them to a block, or if you have a nice thick book or something else, we're going to start to peel open here, left arm reaching high. Keep scooping your low belly. So again, it's like there's that balloon there. 3, 2, 1. On your next exhale, release your left hand down, bend your left knee, left hand comes to the block or the floor. Straighten through your right knee, inhale, peel your right arm up, look that direction, breathe here. Take another nice full breath in. Exhale to release your right hand down. We're going to flow one breath at a time. Bend your right knee, plant your right hand or fingertips. Inhale, peel left arm up. Exhale, release, left hand down. Bend left knee. Inhale, peel right arm up. Exhale, back to center. One more time each side. Inhale, open to your left. Exhale, down. Inhale, open to your right. Exhale, down. Inhale, flat back. Find a neutral spine here. You got armpits lifting a little towards the ceiling, that balloon between thighs and low belly floating. You take another nice full breath in as you exhale, bow forward. Inhale, flat back again. Exhale, fold. One more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. This time, press through your feet. Go ahead and bend your knees, tuck your tailbone under, roll up one vertebrae at a time to come to standing. Bring your shoulders up, relax them down your back. On your next inhale, sweep your arms high. Exhale, bring your palms together at your heart center. Take a nice full breath in. Full breath out. Feel where your thumbs rest at the center of your chest. Feel that contact point. And from that space, perhaps an intention or dedication for your practice. Take a full breath in. Release the jaw, sigh the breath out. 2 more. Last one. Opening your eyes, inhale to reach your arms up, really rooting through your feet as you go. Feet begin down in the earth, not on it. As you exhale, bow forward. Try and keep the lift of your low belly even as you bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your feet back to a plank pose. You can always use your knees for some support here in your plank if you need or want. Otherwise, if knees are lifted, think about drawing thighs back up into the hips just a little bit and breathe. 3, 2. Take another nice deep breath in. Maybe you lower knees for this first one. So it's a mindful chaturanga. Really pay attention to what your body is feeling today. Elbows draw back, not out to the side. So they're pulling towards your hips. So the chest comes forward a little. Try and keep your belly and your chest in one line. Come to 90 degrees. Then maybe you scoop forward into a baby cobra. Shoulders draw down your back. Legs are slightly active, feeling all 10 toes on the mat. So it's like your legs are lifting slightly from your inner thighs. Stay in baby cobra breathing. Maybe you're ready for up dog, straightening your elbows, pressing through the tops of your feet until your thighs lift. Armpits are still moving back a little towards your spine. Take one more full breath in. As you exhale, use your knees or not, find your downward facing dog. Take a nice full breath in and a full breath out. Look forward. Maybe you step left foot forward this time first, followed by the right, or whichever is opposite of what you normally do. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Press through your feet. Inhale to rise. Arms reaching tall. Exhale, bow. Inhale, flat back again. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to your plank. Full breath in as you exhale your chaturanga. Inhale to then scoop forward into your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a nice full breath in. Full breath out. Look forward, step or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, bow. Inhale, long, light spine. Exhale, plant your hands. Your vinyasa, remembering that that means you can use your knees, you can build strength in high plank, or you can go straight to down dog if your shoulders are not interested in chaturangas. Take a nice full breath in. A nice full breath out. Look forward, step or float. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, bow. Inhale, long, light spine. Exhale, plant your hands, your flow. Full breath in. Full breath out. Look forward, step to the top of your mat or float. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana. So if you can, big toes touch, heels are a little bit spread. Rise up on your inhale. Exhale, sink your weight towards your heels. Let your hips sink down. If this does not work, feet and knees come hip width apart. Just make sure that wherever you are, inner thighs are rolling down towards the mat, outer edges of your hips are softening slightly. Fingers are reaching, but shoulder blades are actively drawing towards your hips. There's still a balloon between your thighs and your low belly. Take one more full breath in. As you exhale, bow forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step, or if you hop back, if that's part of your practice, hopping back, you're landing in your chaturanga. Inhale to open. Exhale, down dog. Take a nice full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale to lift your right leg. Start with internal rotation, lifting from the inner thigh on that lifted leg. Keep pressing through both hands. Keep both hip bones pointing down towards your mat. Then bend your knee, roll your hip open. Maybe you take circles through your foot and ankle or your knee and hip. In one direction and then the other. Take one more nice full breath in. As you exhale, square your hips back off. Step your right foot forward. Find a low lunge. Lower your back knee down. Inhale to rise up through your chest and arms. And then if you can, inch your front foot a little further forward. Let your hips come forward and down. Shoulder blades actively draw down. And the bottom point of your shoulder blades wrap slightly towards the front of your ribs. Maybe you start to lift your gaze a little here. Make sure that if you are taking this towards a back bend, which is that lifted gaze or that lean, that you're not dropping into your low back, you're not crunching your neck. It's actually about lifting your shoulder blades forward, using your shoulder blades to press your chest forward and up, then letting your hips come forward as your neck lengthens back. Take another nice full breath in. As you exhale, go ahead and drop your right hand down to your hip or a block or the floor. Left arm is going to come up and over, a deep side body stretch along the left side of your body. Inhale to come back up to center. As you exhale, hands come down, tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee. Now, draw your front thigh back into your hip a little bit to help engage your low belly. Start to float your arms up. Start to float your chest above your front thigh. Breathe here. 3, 2, 1. Press through both feet. Inhale, rise up to your high lunge. 3, 2. Take another nice full breath in. Now, as you exhale, bring your back foot in maybe a little closer and start to pivot, finding warrior one. So the back foot is now planted, but at an angle. Keep drawing your front hip back a little, trying to bring your hips towards square. Keep letting your front knee move towards the top edge of your mat. Take another nice full breath in. Now, as you exhale, open to your warrior two. Turn your hips to face the long edge of your mat. Arms are reaching, but shoulder blades are still drawing towards your spine. So there's a sense of pressing out. It's the same. Feet are pressing down and out. Thighs are drawing back in and up. Flip your front palm up. Inhale to reverse, reaching up and back. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, you're gonna pivot onto that foot. Draw your hips back to square towards the top edge of your mat, finding your lunge again. Take another nice full breath in. As you exhale, hands come down, step back to your plank. Inhale here, and then exhale to flow or meet us in down dog. In your down dog, inhale to lift your left leg. Start with your internal rotation. So both hip bones point down towards the mat, both hands press evenly, both legs are strong. Feel the left side of your core turning on a little to help float that leg up. On your next exhale, bend your left knee, roll your hip open, try to reach that left knee towards the ceiling. Maybe you circle out foot and ankle, or knee and hip, making sure you're circling both directions here. Take one more nice full breath in. As you exhale, square your hips back off, step your left foot forward, find your low lunge, lower your back knee down. Inhale to rise up through your chest and arms. Exhale again, make sure your front knee isn't moving past that ankle. Inching your foot forward if you need to, finding the depth of the shape without dropping into your low back. It's not a passive. There's still a sense of using your strength to lengthen up, even as you stretch. Again, maybe you start to take this, hands can stay reaching up or come to your hips. Maybe you start to take this into a little bit of a back bend. There's still that sense of lengthening forward and up, and then starting to hinge. Breathe deeply. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale to come back up to center if you lean. As you exhale, left hand comes down to your hip or a block or book or the floor. And right arm comes up and over, taking that side body stretch. Breathing here. Inhale to come back up to center. As you exhale, hands come down to frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee. Draw both thighs back into your hips a little to engage your low belly. To square your hips, then start to float your arms up. Float your chest off of your front thigh. Breathe here. 3, 2, 1. With control, press through both feet. Inhale to rise, high lunge. 3, 2, 1. Now start to pivot the back foot down a little, maybe stepping it in slightly, shortening your stance just a little bit. Warrior 1. Inner thighs spiral towards the midline of your mat. Shoulder blades draw down towards your hips and wrap slightly towards the front of your ribs. One more breath in. As you exhale, open to your warrior two. Maybe you widen the distance between your feet again. And so again, find the balance point of reaching away from center, of pressing away from center, and also drawing strength back to center so that your spine lightly floats in the middle of those two seemingly opposite forces. Flip your front palm up, reach up and back, reverse. Nice deep breaths here. Let your front thigh keep moving towards that top edge of your mat without the knee coming past the ankle. Take one more full breath in. Exhale it out. Now inhale back to your warrior two. As you exhale, pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Square your hips back towards the top edge of your mat, adjusting your feet if you need to, high lunge. Take one more breath in. As you exhale, hands come down. Step back, flow, or meet us in down dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale to lift your right leg. Exhale, step your foot forward, high lunge. Inhale to rise. As you exhale, open to warrior two. Inhale to reverse. Exhale back to your warrior two. Inhale, rise up onto the ball of your back foot. Pivot back to face that high lunge. As you exhale, hinge here. Shift forward, inhale, float your back leg up. It's gonna help you move forward if you're drawing that lifted thigh back into the hip a little. Keep the sense of armpits lifting slightly towards the ceiling. Low belly floating towards your spine. On your next inhale, draw your knee through center. Be aware of your midline as you rise. Keep lifted foot flexed to help engage that leg, the left side of your core. Take another nice full breath in. As you exhale, we're gonna hinge here again. Take another full breath in. Exhale, soften your front knee, step back. High lunge, arms rise as you breathe in. Now as you exhale, turn to face the long edge of your mat. Finding goddess pose. So feet are turned out and in one line. Knees aren't rolling in. You're pressing towards the outer edges of your feet. Maybe turn palms up, hug shoulder blades and elbows down and in. Don't let your ribs pop out. Keep your low ribs tucking in slightly. Maybe you sway a little, one side and then the other. On your next inhale, straighten your knees, reach your arms high. As you exhale, pivot to face the back edge of your mat, finding your high lunge. Take a nice full breath in here. As you exhale, palms come to heart center. Hinge and start to twist to face your left. So you're hooking your right elbow outside your left knee. You can always lower your back knee if you want to focus on the twist without the challenge of as much balance. Whether your back knee is lowered or lifted, keep that thigh drawing slightly into the hip. Keep lengthening tailbone and top of your head away from each other. Let the ribs be what rolls you open. Take a few more deep breaths. Take another nice full breath in. Exhale it out. Inhale, rise back up to your high lunge. Now, as you exhale, we're going to pivot back around to face the top edge of your mat. Step your back foot in slightly, hands to hips. Inhale, grow tall. As you exhale, hinge here, pyramid. Now, a lot of times what wants to happen is we kind of crank that left hip up and open. See if you can draw it down and in. Let your right hip move up and back to balance it. That may make the shape more challenging. So you can always bring your hands to your shins, block, book, or maybe the floor. Make sure you're not rounding through your spine to get here. Shoulder blades are still moving actively towards your hips. Upper chest is still softening and open. Breathe here. Back foot heel is down, which means shorten your stance if you need to. You can always soften a little through the front knee or the back knee. Take one more nice full breath in. Exhale it out. Start to shift forward to your front foot. Float your back leg up. Lift from your inner thigh, not from cranking the hip open. To start so that your core is engaged and your spine is nice and balanced between the right and the left. Now, if you'd like a little bit more space, try and keep that sense of core engaged, spine nice and long. Maybe you start to lift the back leg a little higher, which might mean opening slightly through the hip. Let your head relax if you can. 2. Take one more breath in. Now, as you exhale, soften your standing knee until you can step back to your low lunge. Plant your left hand. Inhale, peel your right arm up and open. Now from here, we're gonna roll, turn your front toes out to a little bit towards that top right corner of your mat. We're gonna start to roll onto the outer edges of both feet. You will most likely feel a pretty deep stretch in that right hip little area. Maybe you can even start to then sink that bottom hip down towards the mat a little bit or a lot. Just make sure wherever you are, you can breathe. 4, 3, 2, 1. On your next inhale, lift your hip if it's lowered. As you exhale, pivot back to face the top edge of the mat. Step your right foot back. Inhale here in plank pose. As you exhale, flow or meet us in down dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale to lift your left leg. As you exhale, step your left foot forward. Rise to high lunge. Exhale, open to your warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, back, warrior 2. Inhale, pivot to that high lunge facing the top edge of your mat. As you exhale, hinge. Inhale, float forward. Dekasana. Breathe here. Take another nice full breath in. As you exhale, soften your standing knee, step back. High lunge and open. Once again, finding that goddess pose. Knees come out. Hands can come to heart center. Shoulder blades actively drawing down. Low belly actively drawing back towards your spine. Maybe you lift your right heel. 3, 2, 1. Place your right heel down. Inhale, lift your left heel. 3, 2, 1. Place left heel down. Maybe you lift both heels. 3, 2, 1. Replace your heels down. Inhale, straighten your knees. Reach your arms up. As you exhale, pivot, high lunge, facing the back edge of your mat. Take a nice full breath in. As you exhale, palms come to heart center. Lengthen, this time hinge and look towards your right. So hooking left elbow outside your right knee. So palms are pressing together, but you're not collapsing through your upper chest. Move your shoulder blades, your armpits, back towards your spine. Open across your upper chest. Shoulder blades actively draw towards your hips. Even though you're hinging here, lift your low belly away from your front thigh. Breathe. Remembering you can always lower the back knee if you need to. Take one more nice full breath in. Exhale to twist it open. Inhale, rise back through center. High lunge. As you exhale, Pivot back around to face the top edge of your mat. Step your back foot in a little bit. Foot is planted, but turned at a slight angle. Inhale to grow tall here. And as you exhale, hinge, coming into your pyramid on this side. Again, don't let the back hip keep cranking open. Roll that back leg hip point down to face the mat. Lift the front thigh in and up. Hands can come to your shin, a block, or the floor. One or both knees can be slightly soft if that's what you need. And breathe, letting your head and neck relax without collapsing through your upper chest. Keep the opening there. Take one more full breath in. Exhale it out. Soften into your front knee. Shift your weight forward. Inhale to lift your back leg. Standing splits. Lift from the inner thigh of your back leg to start. Keep hips square. Keep core engaged. Keep spine soft and centered. And try and keep that sense of core engagement, of spine centered. Maybe you start to lift that back leg a little higher, opening a little more through your hip. Take one more nice full breath in. As you exhale, square your hips back off, soften your front knee, step all the way back to your low lunge with control as best you can, trying not to plop. Right hand comes down to the floor or your block or book. Turn your front toes out towards the top left corner of your mat. Then on your next exhale, you're gonna roll to the outer edges of both feet. And breathe here. Hips can stay lifted or perhaps start to lower. And this is a challenging shape for many, especially if you're someone who's been sitting a lot, or even if you're someone who's been walking a lot. These outer edges of our legs can get really tight. Last 3, 2, 1. On your next inhale, start to lift your hips if they've lowered. As you exhale, pivot back to face the top of your mat. Step your foot back to plank. Inhale. As you exhale, flow or meet us in down dog. Take a nice full breath in and a full breath out. Look forward, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Utkatasana, chair pose. As you exhale, sweep your arms behind you. Maybe float your heels up. Breathe here. Letting hips keep sinking down and back. Low belly is still floating. Inner thighs are still squeezing towards each other and rolling slightly down towards your mat. Take one more breath in. As you exhale, sink your heels down, straighten your knees, reach tall. As you exhale, bow forward. Maybe feet come hip width apart. You can wrap peace fingers around your big toes or any arm variation that works for you. Inhale to lengthen your spine, open through your upper chest. As you exhale, keep the length and the opening through the upper chest as best you can, and bow forward, letting your head and neck relax. Take one more full breath in. Exhale it out. Releasing the bind. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bring your feet back, big toes to touch. If that's your chair pose, inhale, rise up. Exhale, palms to heart center, hips are low. Inhale to lengthen your spine as you exhale, twist towards your right, hooking left elbow outside of right knee, or if that's too much, or you have low back pain, twist up tall. Note too that if you are pregnant, these deep twists are not great, and you should be twisting up tall too, giving yourself more space, or not twisting at all. Keep opening across your upper chest. Keep letting your hips sink back without dropping too much though. You're still pressing into the floor. You're still lifting your low belly. Take one more nice full breath in. Exhale to twist it open and bow forward. Forward fold, feet come hip width apart or wider again. Maybe this time gorilla pose, bringing palms under your feet, toes, all the way up to your wrists if you can. Again, maybe you soften your knees to get there. More important than knees straight is that the space where back of your legs meet your bottom is lengthening. Press through your feet. Inhale to lengthen your spine, open across your upper chest. Exhale, keep the length, keep the opening. Bow, let your head and neck relax. Breathe here. Take another full breath in. Exhale it all the way out. Releasing any bind. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Toe heel, big toes back to touch. Again, your chair pose. Inhale, rise. Exhale, palms to heart center, lengthen. Twist to your left, other side. Breathing here. So again, I'm not collapsing through my upper chest. I'm taking my top armpit, top shoulder, rolling it back. Keep reaching my tailbone and top of my head away from each other, and then opening along my ribs. Both feet are pressing into my mat. Inner thighs are rolling down. Last three. Last two. Full breath in. Exhale to twist it open, and then bow. Releasing forward, either take feet and knees hip width apart again for another forward fold there, or if it feels good, keep big toes touching, bend your knees. Maybe wrap your hands around your calves, reaching for your heels. Try and draw your forehead towards your shins, chest towards your thighs, or even low belly towards your thighs. And then slowly start to work your knees towards straight. Keep armpits still moving actively towards your spine though. So even in this deep forward fold, we're not collapsing through the upper chest. Breathe into your back since the front of your body is sandwiched in. Take one more full breath in. Exhale it all the way out. Releasing the bind in your arms. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Press through both feet. Inhale, rise to stand. As you exhale, bring your palms together at heart center. Shift your weight to your left foot without dropping into that hip. So you're still drawing the standing leg thigh, the left thigh back, in and up. Come light to your right foot. Right knee is going to turn out towards the side. It doesn't need to crank open. You don't want to be pulling your hips off balance. Both hip bones are at the same height and facing forward. And maybe you start to float your right foot up to your inner calf, or even all the way up to your inner thigh. Just no direct pressure on the standing leg knee. Palms can stay at heart center or can grow tall. Once again, the roots of your tree begin deep in the earth. Your heart balances that downward movement. Your arms and the top of your head gently lengthen up. Steady gaze, steady breath. Take one more full breath in. Exhale, arms to heart center, and release your foot back down. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, center. Shift your weight to your right foot without dropping into that hip. Feel the roots grow down. Feel the thigh lift up. Left leg turns out to the side. It can kickstand or come below or above the knee on a standing leg. And then when you feel that balance of opening, but also rolling slightly inward, of pressing down, but also gently growing tall, maybe your arms start to reach. Steady gaze, steady breath. One more breath in. Exhale, palms come to heart center. Foot releases down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, center at your heart. Malasana yoga squat. Toe heel your feet out, toes out further than your hips, and start to sink your hips down. If this does not work for your knees or your low back, you can take a block or a book, something to bring your hips to for some support. You can also come to a seat, feet together, knees opening wide in a butterfly shape. Even if you are okay here in this shape, yes, there's a sinking that's happening through your hips, but there's still a lifting slightly through your thighs and through your low belly. So we're not completely collapsing here. There's still that sense of resisting gravity just a little bit, finding some lightness, even in the depth of the stretch. Last 3, 2, and 1. As you exhale, in whatever way works for your knees, come to a seat. Stretch your legs out, shake them out a little if you need to. You can either keep legs stretched out or plant your feet for a little more support for your low back. We're gonna roll for a count of 10 down to the mat. So you want legs lengthening. You don't want them rolling completely out. You're lengthening down inner thighs as well. But you're still drawing the front of your thighs back into your hips a little so that your low belly turns on. You're not rounding through your upper chest. Armpits are moving towards your spine. Shoulder blades slide towards your hips and then wrap slightly towards the front of your ribs so that your core and your upper back muscles integrate. Legs help anchor you through their strength. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Halfway there. Check in that thighs are drawing in, that low belly is turning on. I am shaking. 3, 2. Keep checking chest is open and release all the way down. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Full breath in. Exhale, sigh the breath out. Releasing some of that fire, that activated energy you just built up in your body. Now bring your feet to plant, knees right over your ankles, about hip width apart. If it helps, you could take a block if you have one, slide it between your thighs. Bring your arms down alongside your body, press down through your feet and arms. Inhale, peel your spine up. As you exhale, soften your hips down. Inhale, press through your feet, peel your spine up. As you exhale, soften hips down. Inhale, peel your spine up. Exhale, soften down. And again, inhale, peel your spine up. So check in here. Oftentimes we engage the gluteal muscles and the knees want to go wide. And we're trying to lift by squeezing our glutes, squeezing our butt, and pressing our hip bones up. See if you can soften a little through the gluteals. Activate along your inner thighs of your legs. Feel all 10 toes press down. Feel your inner thighs spiral towards each other and then down towards your mat a little. Use your core as well as your gluteals to lift. You can even imagine using your thighs to pull your hips slightly towards your knees. Maybe you interlace your fingers and shimmy your shoulders closer together. And breathe, last 3, 2, 1 more full breath in. Exhale, release your hips down. Take a nice full breath in, full breath out. So we're going to take one more back bend here. You can stick with bridge, what we were just doing. You can take a restorative version of that, sliding a block, a pillow, thick book underneath your bottom as it's lifted. You can also take wheel pose, hands coming by your ears, fingers pointing towards your shoulders. Press down through your feet, press down through your hands. Inhale to peel your spine up. Once again, you're not using your glutes to press your hip bones up. You're letting your inner thighs roll towards each other and down towards the mat a little. You're using the strength of the entire back of your body to lift your ribs up, to open you across your chest, to keep your hip bones floating up towards the ceiling. Wherever you are, last 3, last 2, and 1. Gently release down to your mat. Windshield wipe your knees a little side to side. And then bring soles of your feet together, knees wide, one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Nice full breath in. Full breath out. Let your back melt into your mat, whatever's supporting it. And gently start to draw your knees back to center, draw them into your chest. Take a happy baby. Feet come up, knees come wide. If grabbing onto your feet makes your tailbone lift up, makes your chest curl up or your neck strain, grab calves or behind your thighs. What's more important is that your spine is lengthening and relaxing down into your mat and that you're working the stretch from there. You can rock a little to one side and then the other. Take another nice full breath in. And as you exhale, plant your left foot down on the mat. Right ankle is going to come across your left knee. Now either reach a towel, strap, or belt around that left thigh or reach your hands around it and start to draw the left thigh in towards your chest, using that to help bring your right shin towards your chest. You can stay right here, or you can slide your legs to cross at the thighs, coming for shoelace, reaching for the outer edges of both feet. Try and keep your tailbone lengthening down away from your head, so your spine is lengthening against the mat. And then try and draw your toes. If heels are coming in towards your bottom, try and lift them out towards the sides. Try and draw your toes up towards your shoulders, your armpits. Breathe here. You can stay right here, or for a little bit more, if you're someone who has a lot of room in your hips, you might take cradle to baby, cradling your right shin and your forearms. Try not to let that heel come down towards your hips again. You want to keep reaching the foot up so that it's in the same line as the right knee. And then try and draw the right shin towards your chest, both shoulder blades softening. You can either keep your left leg extended up, you can lengthen it long on your mat, or you can plant the foot, knee up towards the ceiling. Wherever you are, whatever is right for your hip. And again, it's not about pushing into a deeper variation. More is not necessarily better. If we push too deep in a stretch, our body tightens up in response, and that is counter to stretching. So it's about meeting your body where it is today and giving it just the right amount of challenge that will allow it to grow, but in a supportive, safe way. Take one more full breath in. Exhale it out. Gently unwind your legs here. You can windshield wiper them a little if you need to. And we'll switch sides. Left ankle over top of right knee. Stay here if this is plenty. Use a towel strap belt around your right thigh. Your hands. Just start to bring that left shin in a little closer. Staying right here if this is plenty, and that is your growth edge. Or if you need a deeper growth edge, come to that shoelace, checking in there. The length of your spine, the opening across your upper chest, the softness through your neck. And then if this is your growth edge, stay here. If you need a deeper growth edge, come to that cradle to baby. And then find the right place for your right leg. Drawing the left shin into your chest, trying to keep the left foot in a parallel line with the left knee. And breathe. So our muscles, it actually takes them a while to start to remember a new shape, which is why going deep for like 5 seconds is not as good as going less deep for a longer period of time. So again, it's not about hitting the deepest you can go. It's about coming to your growth edge, allowing your muscles, your mind, your nervous system to become comfortable in that space. That is how you grow the edges of your comfort zone. Take one more full breath in. Exhale to gently release here. Windshield wipering again over your knees. Draw your knees into your chest. You can take some small circles on your mat in one direction and then the other. Take a nice full breath in as you exhale. Send your legs long, reach your arms up and overhead. Big full body stretch. Full breath in. Full breath out. And let that full breath out take you towards your Shavasana. So your shape of final rest. For most people, that's feet spread wide, toes starting to roll out. If you can, let your palms rest up. That does not work for your body. They can always rest down. If you need any support behind your knees to help your low back release, you can either plant your feet and let knees rest on each other, or take a pillow or something behind your knees. If you need support for your head, a small support for your head to let your neck relax, you can do that. And so as you come to rest here, laying on your back, or if back doesn't work, you can always come to your side. You just want to take whatever shape allows you to relax completely. So take a nice full breath in. Let the breath go. Start to feel the back of your body melts into the floor. Maybe it even feels almost like you are floating in a deep, still pool. instead of holding yourself at the surface of the pool, let yourself relax into its depths. Noticing how you are supported, even in the surrender. So from that deep, still pool, gently ride and inhale back into your body. Keeping your eyes closed, sense the floor, the ceiling, the four walls around you, this time, this space. Sense your skin, the edges of your physical body, your physical form. Maybe start to wiggle your fingers and toes a little, or your wrists and your ankles. Taking any movements you need to, perhaps rolling to one side of your body. Making your way up to a seat with their palms come together at heart center. Pausing for a moment in deep gratitude for the wisdom lineage that is yoga, for the culture from whence it came, for all the yogis who have come before, for all those who will come after. And in recognition of that whole in which we are only a tiny, tiny part, as well as in recognition of each other, we bow in deepest gratitude, honoring the light that is in each of us, honoring the connectivity, the web that links us. I see you. I honor you. Thank you. From that place of clear seeing, namaste.